Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day to start things off. Technology behemoth known as International Business Machines, or IBM, says that it's open to working with Facebook on its Libra coin. This was reported by CNBC. IBM's general manager of blockchain services, Jason Kelly, said that the company is looking to spur collaboration in the space, noting that blockchain is a team sport. He also highlighted the firm's openness to the idea of collaborating with Facebook. He said, and I do quote, "Our clients are ready to work with Facebook, and we're ready to work with all of them to bring it together," end quote. IBM has created its own blockchain, which the company claims enables greater transparency around everything from banking to supply chain management. Kelly did not say whether the firm was interested in joining the Libra Association, though he did acknowledge that Facebook's entry into the industry helps boost its legitimacy. Nevertheless, he did distance himself from cryptocurrencies, focusing on tokenization instead, which allows digitizing any asset, including fiat currencies or stocks. He said, "We talk about Libra and people say it's just another crypto. Set crypto aside and talk about tokenization because that's what we're talking about," end quote. Two, maybe three things. The first thing, going backwards, one of the main things that happened during the course of 2015, 2016, and the beginning of 2017, which also almost disappeared into the stratosphere by the time the cryptocurrency prices were going up. I'm pretty sure a lot of you remember this as well. The idea was blockchain, not Bitcoin. When you listen around, even when you listen to podcasts and you listen to people and they ask them this question, why did your company say this years ago? Why did you think this? What was the idea that you had before that Bitcoin was not necessary and that you only had to deal with the underlying technology, which is blockchain? A lot of them said they did not understand what Bitcoin was. They didn't care to understand what Bitcoin was, and as the price of Bitcoin went up, they pretty much realized that they could profit from it, or that it was going to be, usually, what they end up saying is that they realize that Bitcoin is a game changer. They never usually go into more detail than that, but what it usually comes down to is that it's a game changer for our pockets. That, like I said, that entire idea completely disappeared. For some reason, around 2018, and a lot of this did not take off either, so I'm interested to see exactly how this is going to play out as well. As we know at the moment, logically, or just looking at it, Bitcoin is the #1 coin. The interest that we've gotten into the cryptocurrency space has mainly focused on Bitcoin, and we no longer hear the idea that blockchain will overtake Bitcoin or that only blockchain should be focused on. My point being, for some reason during the course of 2018, there was another little switch that got flipped. There we go. And for some reason, people started talking about the tokenization of everything. This is why I find it quite odd. Once again, this is all my opinion. If you've been here before, you know the deal. What I find quite odd is that when IBM was first talking about getting into the cryptocurrency space, the idea was using cryptocurrencies to be able to send value and transact things back and forth. What we're seeing a lot of companies talking about now is the tokenization or the digitization of everything. Anything that could potentially have value, this is what we should be focusing on as far as tokenizing them or digitizing them so that they are on a blockchain. IBM is a very interesting character as a whole within the cryptocurrency space because they started out fairly well, talking about they wanted to boost the idea of cryptocurrencies kind of becoming a worldwide thing, and now they seem to have flipped in some sort of way. I'm not sure if they were just behind the scenes conversations that were going on where people were discussing potentially there's more money to be made, and I mean logically, and the tokenizing of everything, and if you are in control of that blockchain or of that system, therefore you would reap the rewards as the things are flowing through your system, and you charge a little tiny fee, you'd be able to make the most money from it. The other point that ties almost directly into it as far as their change, and this isn't me talking down or negatively about IBM, it's more like it's fascinating to see how things change over the course of a 1.5 to 2 year period. If I'm not mistaken, IBM was one of the very first large companies that came out in support of cryptocurrencies, or rather of a hyper decentralized cryptocurrency space. So when I saw the news that they had openly said that they were looking to collaborate with and or work with or whatever with Facebook and or Libra, I said, okay, it's kind of the same exact thing where a couple of years ago, the entire idea, and I'm not naming any one person because it's definitely around 15 to 16 different people within the cryptocurrency space who noted that they got into cryptocurrencies or into Bitcoin because of its decentralized nature, the idea that it would be able to help millions, if not billions of people around the world. That's all but disappeared, and now these people solely focus on price, accumulating Bitcoin, and kind of what have you. The point to be made is that we know, rather, I will say, I personally believe that Facebook is terrible. What they do, what they're trying to create, the things you can find it on Google. I can't remember the exact name of it. It came out yesterday. They released a slew of new products that will allow them to track you more and to see exactly where you are. And anyway, I wonder, to kind of finish this thought off, what's going to happen with IBM or every other company, as a matter of fact, just kind of lump them all together as far as the tokenization of everything. We've had a lot of reports about the tokenization of real estate, property, artwork. I think they've tokenized a number of Andy Warhol's pieces, and I think some Picasso as well, and they've sold them off, what have you, so on and so forth. But as far as once again, the idea of that, we don't care about cryptocurrencies, let's tokenize everything. I wonder how that's going to play out as Bitcoin becomes more of a center stage product for everyone in the world. And I still think this is going to happen, personally. Once Bitcoin has reached its previous all-time high and then continues to go higher, if this entire idea of, we don't really care about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies anymore, let's simply focus on tokenization. And it's kind of odd. Anyway, the point being, my fears, my statements previously have all but been confirmed. I was wondering why everyone was talking so negatively about Facebook for about a good 2 weeks. Then all of that simply vanished. It's because all the major money, all the major players are actively trying to find a way to work with Facebook as well. It's all of it's very odd. The interest from IBM came initially from that IBM had announced that they would be working with Stellar and that they would be using the Stellar blockchain to be able to process transactions, what have you, so on and so forth. As time has moved on, we've also seen interest from IBM working with the people from Ethereum. I think they are a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. I don't know. It's all kind of odd. I assume we'll get more information about this, but I think the rush that's happening right now is that people realize that if you are first in making a blockchain that you can get other banks, governments, and countries onto before anybody else, you clearly get the largest slice of pie. Anyway, it should be no surprise that IBM is looking to work with Facebook. And I assumption that there have definitely been some talks behind the scenes of them running a Libra node as well. Let's move on. Next up. This is, So this is what we kind of had to skip over yesterday or even the day before that. Binance US, the United States branch of major crypto exchange Binance, announced that its users will be able to deposit 5 cryptocurrencies, namely Cardano, BAT, Ethereum Classic, Stellar, and 0x. According to the announcement published on the 23rd of September, these coins are currently only available for deposits. Withdrawals will not be enabled until trading goes live. Where's the other important part? The trading pairs include, on their platform, major cryptocurrencies Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, Bcash, Litecoin, Binance Coin, and Tether. We skipped over this, or we spoke about this for about a good 18 seconds yesterday, because the discussion was, why did Bitcoin almost fall $2,000 over the course of a 24-hour period, which we went over. I'm not going to discuss it again. It still seems logical. Anyway, Yeah, Binance US apparently, I believe, is now actually open. These are the coins that they have on it. All this news that we had and were leading up to, especially like the launch of actual Binance US, was completely washed under the table as everyone, or nearly everyone in the market, was panicking that Bitcoin had slammed down in price once again. Here's another really interesting one that was also probably brought on by the dilemma from yesterday. During Tuesday's wild Bitcoin tumble, crypto traders managed to capitalize on a dramatic flash crash in Binance's USD pairs with Bitcoin. TradingView tracked the Bitcoin to BUSD, that's Binance coin, paired on Binance, which witnessed the price of Bitcoin fall to $1,820 in an instant. Here's the chart right here. If you are driving, please don't look at the screen. It just looks crazy. It took about a second for Bitcoin's price to go from $8,500 to fall to under $2,000 per Bitcoin. Binance launched the stablecoin on Friday in a partnership with Paxos. The coin is designed to be pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar and is initially available against Bitcoin, BNB, and XRP. And that's not important. The 24-hour volume, blah, 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 blah. Traders tracked the flash crash in real time during the crypto market's sudden meltdown. Here's a little chart, right? That is absolutely insane. BUSD earned a stamp of approval from the New York State Department of Financial Services and can be traded on Binance.com. And then they talk about the actual coin. Apparently, at the moment, there has been no comment from Binance on the flash crash. Flash crashes are incredible moments in history. I wonder how we're going to look at a lot of these things. There have been a lot of websites. Even I think about 2 weeks ago, we were also discussing another one. I can't remember. There's so many BitMEX, Bit this, Bit so and so, blah, blah, blah. So many different names of websites. There was one, I think Bitcoin crashed to around $800 or something like that. It was some very weird crash as Bitcoin was hovering over $10,000. There were also instances last year, and I speculate heavily. Last year, we had a lot of cryptocurrency exchange hacks and people trying to attack them and so on and so forth. And there was one day, there was an exchange. I think Bitcoin's price went from around, I want to say around 6,000 something to I think $3. It took a couple of seconds for it to happen, as it is a flash crash. But there were a number of people who actually had buy orders around that number for whatever reason. And they actually were able to acquire a number of Bitcoin. No one knows if it's, 500, 300, 400, most people don't assume that there will be a flash crash that low, but people were able to acquire Bitcoin at that price. There's also something a month ago. What was the news? It was like some platform had a flash crash, and I think, sorry, the air is very dry here. They had a flash crash, and I think people were able to acquire Bitcoin at an extremely low price, and I think they were withdrawing them immediately. Like the moment after it happened, people were trying to make sure that they had that Bitcoin off of the website, and then the crypto exchange was trying to like reverse the transactions, but the Bitcoin was already not there. It was a mess. Anyway, this also took place. I don't know. I was going to ask if anyone out there got lucky enough to be able to get some of these on Binance. Don't tell anyone if you did. I don't want anybody to. Yeah, anyway, let's move on. I find these completely fascinating. It makes me sometimes just want to have like a buy order at like $1,000 for Bitcoin, just in case. Anyway, let's move on. Here's another weird one. Cryptocurrency exchange OKEX plans to launch Tether Futures margin trading in October. The firm confirmed in an email on the 23rd of September. An OKEX spokesperson said that Tether Futures are scheduled to be launched next month, though the exact launch date has not been set. They said, and I do quote, "We are planning to launch USDT margin futures, but at this stage, we are aiming to launch in October and still pending on the exact launch schedule," end quote. As Cointelegraph reported, OKEX has refuted fresh allegations of manipulative practices such as wash trading on its platform. In August, another major exchange, Binance, announced that the platform will launch futures trading this month. Since then, it has been reported earlier that this month that the daily trading volume on Binance's futures market has exceeded 150 million, though the platform is still in invite-only mode. Oh yeah, okay. Two things. First, Binance's futures platform, through their invite-only thing, I believe had more money flowing through it than backed. Little awkward. Second thing is, yeah, OKEX is launching Tether Futures. Sure. I think people are getting a little bit futures crazy, that they would think that they need to launch a Tether Futures margin trading on anything. I do hope it works out for them. I'm terrified of hearing a Gemini dollar or a Libra futures. I assume they're also going to be coming. Sure. I thought this was fascinating because it's like why would you do this? Okay. In my opinion, there are so many other important things to do within the cryptocurrency space. You could have even listed Ether futures. You could have also listed Lumen's futures. I would have even nope. That would have been a lie. I was gonna say I could even have seen a BSV futures. Nope, I would have hated them forever. However, yeah, there's going to be Tether futures in October. I'm sure everyone out there is just so excited to hear that. We're all excited to hear about Tether's futures. To kind of finish things off in a sure okay kind of move, Block One, the software company behind EOS, will expand its U.S. footprint with a new headquarters and a $10 million investment in Arlington County, Virginia. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam announced the plans on Monday, along with a $600,000 U.S. grant from the Commonwealth's Opportunity Fund. EOS is the world's seventh largest blockchain by market cap, valued at more than $3 billion US. They said, and I do quote, Arlington's proximity to Washington, D.C. allows us to continue building constructive business and government relationships as we provide insights for the application of blockchain-based technologies, so said by Block One Chief Operating Officer Andrew Bliss. The company already has a Virginia presence with an 80-employee facility in Blacksburg, Virginia, approximately 250 miles away. Right. Usually we get a news sometimes about a company moving to another country, another state within the US, another city, and it maybe appears on about one other website. This, for some reason, was almost everywhere. I don't know what the hyper significance of them moving to the DC area is. I get it. I get what DC is. I understand that. But the people, and forgive me if I am mistaken, we have not heard a lot from EOS over the last couple of months. The major things that we have heard from EOS recently have been June of this year. EOS announced that they were going to be launching Voice, which is a social media platform, which received some backlash from the get-go of them announcing this. I don't think this has launched yet. I tried to look around to see if this was already active, and there's no news. I haven't seen any updates. I found a podcast with people talking about the future of Voice, but nothing. June, July, August, September, almost October, 4.5 months. No real news on this. And the other, there was also that. There was I think EOS just underwent a hard fork, which also came and went. And I found information on one website, and it was a very tiny little snippet of information. And the other thing was last year in November, we had news that people from, I believe, Activision and Blizzard were working with EOS to build a blockchain game studio. And I think one of the games, is it even here? Nope. I think we had an image before one of the games that they were trying to launch. I think they were also trying to launch something, what's it called? Something similar to Hearthstone. It's that the World of Warcraft card game. For clarity, I hold EOS. I'd like the EOS project. We just never hear about them anymore. They're never in the news as much. And this is why when I saw the news that they had opened an office in DC, I was like, that's what I wanted to hear. That's the news I've been waiting for a couple of months. If anyone, and I mean this honestly, if anyone has any information besides the 2 EOS podcasts, one for The Voice and one, I think it's called Everything EOS, besides those 2, any other place I can find actual information on EOS, any updates? I looked at a Twitter account yesterday. I think it belonged to Dan Larimer or somebody else. And there was just a lot of like rambling and stuff going on. Maybe I clicked on the wrong Twitter account. I'd like to know what's happening with the project. They raised billions of dollars. And as of yet, even if it was just news that they're working with like government agencies in DC, I'd be like, wow, that's amazing. But as of yet, they've been very hush-hush. I don't assume it has anything to do with the bear market. They were very giving when the prices were down in 2018. Anyway, hopefully major things come from this. It's nice to hear that they're still expanding. I mean, we had remember last year, all the cryptocurrency projects who were shutting down and like firing 95% of their companies, and now we hear nothing about them. So I guess an expansion is better than nothing. I would like to play that game if it ever ends up coming out. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Adam Grasick, Mohamed Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and JE, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Milweezy, JR, Mechanic, Strange Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Coldy, 3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas, Winner with One Piece, One Love, Damien, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto Beer Shipmate. I thought I could do it with one breath. I couldn't. Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Chest Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. And yes, to crypto. Thank you very, very much for your support at the moment. For those of you who are not looking at the screen, the market's green. Not as green as we would like it to be. It's better than everything being in red. Bitcoin is currently at a couple of dollars away from 8,500 US dollars. It's a lot better than the 7,900 and the 8,200 that we saw yesterday. XRP's up almost 5%. Ether is up 2%. Litecoin's up almost, nope, still around 4-ish. Lumens for some reason is almost up by 14%. The IBM news had nothing to do with Lumens. A couple of days ago, we also had seen on the price metric places that for some reason Lumens was also up by like 24%. There's been no Lumen news. I speculate that something must be brewing, or something may be afoot, or something is happening behind the scenes and people are accumulating lumens without anyone else knowing. If we get some type of news over the next 2 weeks that lumens is being integrated into this, or lumens is being used for that, or someone is lumening, this will all make a bit of sense. However, for some reason, lumens is usually the top gainer the last couple of weeks with no real news to back it up. Cardano's almost up by around 7%. IOTA's also up around 10% and has under 7 million 24-hour trading volume. Question mark. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Why does this coin, ABBC coin, have higher volume than IOTA? That's a little weird. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. We are in the most illogical, unlogical. The cryptocurrency space makes no sense. And this is just where we are. This is what we chose. This is our life. Somebody was, what was it? A couple of people, try not to name any names, on Twitter and other places, were announcing that by this weekend, Bitcoin will be back above 9,500. I was like, I don't know. It would be nice. However, I'm not expecting any type of massive jump in the next 2 days. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See